Welcome to The Know. I'm Brian.
I'm Jen.
I'm Ben.
So the Game Awards are right around the corner. I believe when this video is posted, they will be on later today. What we thought would be fun to do is some predictions. We're going to go over, not all the categories because there are a ton of them, but we're going to go over kind of our top categories and talk about the nominees and who we think should win, in our opinion. So let's start it off with Best Game Direction. Now, this is awarded to a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. The nominees: A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Spider-Man, or Red Dead Redemption 2. Ben, what do you think?
Okay, so I played 4 of the 5 of these games.
Okay.
I didn't play Detroit Become Human just because I didn't get to it. There's so many games this year. For creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, I feel like Red Dead's gonna win it.
Yes.
I might give it to, and I would probably give it to Red Dead Redemption 2. That game was just its own world. It was its own thing.
Yep.
I think that's definitely the sure win.
All right. Jen.
I think Red Dead is going to win. I do want to point out though that I know you said you didn't play Detroit. I did, and it has such a branching story that it was a really creative way to tell a story where like everyone, you play it, I play it, you play it, we all have completely different stories. There are parts of the game that like you might get to that I will say, I was like, what are you talking about that you ended up here? I never even saw that. So
And David Cage's games are known for
They're
that.
always
yes,
like that. Yeah.
exactly.
All
So
right.
so that was definitely very, I feel like, an innovative way to go through that story.
I am going to, I thought direction-wise, I thought Red Dead 2 was great. I have some issues with it, but the direction I don't think is one of them. For me, God of War, I thought compelling story, great father and son dynamic, lots of kind of deep topics addressed. Kratos, just seeing him as a sort of grizzled old dad, I thought was so much fun, along with the Norse mythology, just great.
God of War and Red Dead 2 were tied for me. It was just really hard.
All right, moving on. Best Narrative. And this is for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. We've got Detroit, God of War, Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ooh, I think Red Dead 2 is probably going to win it this year. I don't agree with that at all because I think story-wise, Spider-Man and God of War were way better. I think I'm going to give it, though, to God of War. The way that game just never stops giving you little tidbits about the world and like the talking with, I forget his name, but like the head and with like Kratos whenever you're paddling in the boat to just like the way that world opened up because of the writing. I think it's perfect.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think God of War is a great choice for it. I do agree that I think Red Dead's going to sweep a lot of things that it doesn't necessarily deserve to, just because it is the new hotness right now. But for the same reasons I said Detroit for game direction, I would want them to get good narrative just because of the storytelling that it does.
I love the story in Red Dead 2. Spider-Man, great. I think it'll lose a little bit because of kind of comic booky, I think sometimes that doesn't get the respect. I'm not saying I agree with it because I don't, but I think sometimes it gets docked. God
It's
of
hard.
War. I
It's
know.
hard.
I kind of have to go. I'm right here with Red Dead 2 and God of War. Maybe for me, edge goes to God of War.
Yeah.
Okay, Best Art Direction. Now this is for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic direction and animation. We've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead 2, and Return of the Obra Dinn, which is a lot of people's game of the year.
I haven't gotten, too many games. I haven't gotten to Return of the Obra Dinn, and I've heard great things about it. What I've seen of it, it looks like very interesting from like an artistic standpoint. I almost just from what I've seen alone kind of want to give it to Return of the Obra Dinn. I think once again Red Dead 2 is going to give it. Of this list, I would probably give it to Octopath Traveler for the like 2.5D. Like what it did with the game. It felt like an old school Super Nintendo RPG, but it was in a 3D world, and I thought that was really cool.
I'm gonna go with Octopath Traveler for this one. Like you said, that 2.5 Ds is how it had those layers to it. I think just artistically, that was just a beautiful and different way to look at a game.
Like when the trailer dropped, that was so cool to see.
Yes.
I was really excited.
I loved that style. I lived through that style, and like it was cool to see it back in a new game. I think they did a good job. I thought it. But I don't, compared to me, Red Dead 2
Yeah.
is, I mean, it's just, say what you will about that game, but the art is unbelievable. The production values off the chart. The beauty of the world, the characters. I don't know. For me, that's mine. Okay, best score and music for outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and/or soundtrack. Celeste, God of War. Spider-Man, Ni no Kuni 2, good choice. Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Celeste.
Celeste.
Such a great soundtrack.
Spider-Man had a really cool thing it would do, where like when you would jump off of a building and start swinging, like the music would swell. But to me, that got old after a little while. Yeah. Celeste, I still listen to at work while I'm working.
Yeah, and I feel like the thing you were just talking about with Spider-Man is probably more about like the sound direction rather than like the score and the music itself. Like the score and design of that soundtrack for Celeste.
Yes.
Yeah, I can just listen to that, and it was great that it wasn't super in your face, but it gave a great backdrop to all the things you were doing in that game.
Some of it sound. Mine is also Celeste. Yes, okay. When you're like on a mountain, it sort of conveys like coldness and bleakness in just a way that I've never heard a soundtrack do. It's great. I listened to it. This is the only game soundtrack I'll just listen to.
And when like the story ramps up, it just works so well. Yep. Like you feel in the moment.
Agreed. All right, best independent game. This is obviously for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Donut County, Florence, heard a lot of great things about Florence, Moss, The Messenger, and Yoku's Island Express.
I haven't heard anything about Yoku's Island Express, so I'm going to nick that off my list right away. I might give this, I've played the rest of them, I might give this to Florence. Florence is an iOS game that kind of just tells the story about two people coming together and then how life just happens and they kind of move apart. It was moving. It was fun. It was short. It's not super heavy into like a puzzle for a game. It just tells a story. I loved it. I think I would definitely give mine to Florence.
I would probably give mine to The Messenger, actually. I feel like that was something that I think if you plopped it in front of somebody, they wouldn't, with the idea that people have of what an indie game is, I don't know if they would think that, oh, just a small studio made this, and like it has a level of polish to its mechanics and how it functions that you would say like, okay, this is a game I could like play. This is something I would expect to see out of a studio.
I agree with mine is The Messenger too. It's a throwback to those kind of old school action games, Ninja Gaiden and stuff like that I love. So yeah, for me, I liked Messenger.
What do you think is gonna win on this list? This is the one for me that I'm not.
Florence, I think I've heard a lot of good buzz around.
Yeah, I think that's the one a lot of people have heard about and have a stake in.
Yeah. All right, best RPG for the best game designed with rich character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. And the nominees are Dragon Quest XI, a.k.a. the winner, Monster Hunter World, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, and Pillars of Eternity 2. It's Dragon Quest XI.
I'm surprised that you didn't just say the nominees are Dragon Quest XI, Dragon Quest XI, Dragon Quest XI.
Unbelievable, a triumph. You should buy it. It's one of the best in the series. It's so good. I'm so glad they ported it to the West. But I did. I played it all the way through. I love it. It's got fun characters, a beautiful environment. The voice acting, a little, maybe a little cheesy at points, but that is my favorite. Gosh, I love. But there's so many good ones here. There's a lot of good.
I was expecting to go. Anyway, so the next nominee is like, there's actually a lot on here.
What's your favorite, guys, and why is it Dragon Quest?
It's Dragon Quest XI because man, I really love working with you, Brian. Please don't fire me.
This will affect future no appearances.
Oh, then Dragon Quest XI for sure.
Octopath Traveler. Anyways, sorry, I didn't. That was off screen.
No, for real. What do y'all think?
I think, man, there are a lot of really good RPGs, and I played most of these. I feel like Monster Hunter World might have a chance of taking it. I think, honestly, like between the judges, it's going to be between Octopath Traveler and Monster Hunter World. No matter, even though Dragon Quest XI is a really, really good game, please don't hurt me, Brian. I think I would give it to Octopath Traveler.
Octopath was great, but I had a lot of issues with a lot of the character development for especially like the female characters in it. So I don't want it to go there just because I don't want to embolden like that kind of treatment of your female characters where you have those backstories that are based on those kinds of things and whatnot.
Like damsel in distress.
Yeah, it's like super damsel in distressy, and not able.
It had very JRPG writing.
Yeah, so it's like it was a great game, but I feel like other games on this list did better with their character progression.
You like Dragon Quest XI?
Like Dragon Quest XI.
Absolutely. I liked Octopath, but to me, the combat got old, and I didn't finish it.
Sure.
Like, I just,
Yeah.
and I feel like there's a good game there. I don't think they quite got it. How the stories, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. All right, moving on. Best multiplayer game. That pretty much goes without, you don't need an explanation for that. Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Destiny 2. Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, Sea of Thieves.
I think anything with Fortnite in it this year is going to be like the clear winner for the Game Awards. Yes. I would give it to Destiny 2.
Me too.
I know there's another category for like best ongoing game that is like what game has evolved the best and been added to. Man, Destiny 2 is a lot of fun. They added Gambit. They've added like the competitive is okay, but like the world building and like doing raids with your friends is so much fun. I would give it to Destiny 2.
Yeah, the gunplay, to me, I love it in Destiny 2. The looter shooter, I mean, just the way it's set up. I think they've fleshed it out, especially with Forsaken. Gambit is a great mode.
It's so good.
It's I haven't seen anything like it. Yeah, that gets my nod too.
Yep,
Jen.
Across the board, Destiny 2 for
Really?
sure. Yeah, I would say that has definitely had the best development and to keep people wanting to keep playing it. I think the other things end up being a very flash pan. Fortnite is doing a great job of keeping its base too.
Fortnite's doing some cool things.
Yeah.
I have no, like Fortnite's going to win it
Yeah.
for sure. Just for me personally, it's Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fortnite, it's like one of those years like in the Oscars, like when Titanic came out or something, like you knew it was going to win.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
It was just sort of like a clear, popular, just a colossus of a game. And I think that's what Fortnite
There's
is.
one game in here that I think is going to kind of have that issue. It's just going to get shafted, kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn got shafted for the Game Awards like a year or two ago. Like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's really good, but it's up against like Red Dead 2, which I think has a lot of buzz behind it right now. Fortnite, like there's a lot of games that have like a way bigger of a bubble, I feel, and I think Spider-Man's going to get shafted hard.
Which brings us to Game of the Year. But first, we asked our audience on Twitter, and you should follow us on Twitter at RT_the know. What nominees do you think will be the Game of the Year? Kyle responded, as much as I don't personally think Red Dead Redemption 2 deserves Game of the Year, I think it will win because it's freshest in everyone's mind. I'd much rather it be Spider-Man or God of War. Roman Stellick said, I personally believe Spider-Man will win Game of the Year, but I hope that Celeste wins. And Santa Dan said, realistically, Fortnite will probably win, but it's not up. So the nominees are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, sort of the surprise indie nom, God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, man. I think this is the one category I think there actually might be a good split. I think Spider-Man's going to get shafted going up against Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Red Dead Redemption 2. I think those are the two. And God of War. Those are all three really, really big ones that are going to be tough. I would probably give it to God of War. I think it's a toss-up between Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Red Dead Redemption. I think it could be any three of those. And I think that's actually a pretty realistic bet.
Okay.
Yep. As much as I would love for it to be Celeste, realistically it won't be. It just won't. And I do think, when you've got Assassin's Creed and God of War and Spider-Man, and Red Dead right up there, like I think Spider-Man's going to kind of get shafted too. I think God of War is probably also going to fall off of that just because all of these things end up going with what happened most recently, what is freshest in people's
God
minds.
of War is, it came out in April.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I think just for virtue of the fact that people have played it a while ago and those they're working more off their memories than current actual experiences right now, it'll probably fall off for that too. So I think you're looking more at Red Dead or Assassin's Creed.
What's your pick? What's your pick?
What's my pick? It's like I want it to be Celeste. Realistically, I'm going to guess it will be Red Dead.
Yeah.
So.
This is a good lineup, and I think it was a good year for games.
It's Dragon Quest XI, man.
That's what's gotta be. Sorry, right in for Dragon Quest. Celeste, I loved. God of War. What do I think will win, or what? Jeez, I think Red Dead 2 will take it. I think God of War or Spider-Man deserve it more, though.
I would agree
That's
with
just
that.
me.
I would
I
agree with
think
that.
we're going to see a surprise, and I don't think Red Dead's going to get Game of the Year. I think it's going to go to God of War. I think
Okay.
once everyone's in the room and they're talking about each of these games and they really get into it, I have a feeling just what God of War did is going to really pull it.
I think it was so good. It
was so
and
good.
just when you combine story and gameplay and everything else in just a wonderful package, I think it deserves it. Yeah. So those are our predictions for the Video Game Awards. I'm excited. I can't wait. So we'll be watching it alongside you guys. And for all your news, keep it tuned right here to The Know.